I'm Yasin. I'm one of the three founders of Savedroid. Before I started Savedroid, I was also one of the co-founders of Vamo, which is a robo-advisor, also a fintech based here in Germany. I built that one up, left there after 2.5 years, and then started with Savedroid. Before that, I used to be a business consultant with McKinsey, only consulting banks, and before I did my master's in economics, my PhD in finance, and now basically expanding Savedroid from simple savings application to savings of the next generation with crypto savings. So that's why we are doing our ICO. Typically, how the application process works is that you go through and you spot the exchanges where you want to get a listing, and then you need to apply. And typically, the application processes are very different from exchange to exchange. So, some exchanges do have a very standardized process, and they are rather quick and providing feedback. So giving really a yes or no. Other exchanges, you just submit your documents and then you need to wait. And for some exchanges, you need to wait for weeks. So therefore, HitBTC is one of the faster exchanges. And we already agreed with them on is signed. And once a contract is signed, you can already disclose it. And since the guys are really fast, we have been able to already announce this. Our policy in general here is with exchanges, we will only announce a name once a deal is really signed, and also the exchange is fine with disclosing the name. Again, here it makes a difference. Some of the exchanges, for example, only allow you to disclose a name once the trading actually is about to start already. HitBTC obviously has a different policy, so for these guys it's fine. And also, to give a hard proof, they will now over the next days have an announcement on their blog already. So still our main sale is going on, that everybody can also see out there. It's legit, and they already retweeted also our tweet. So this is also very strong proof that this is also very legit. So this is everything is signed. One other thing, sorry, which we are now about to communicate and which will come over the weekend, is with a major exchange, even much bigger than HitBTC. Here, the policy is a bit different. Here, we are not allowed at this point in time to disclose the name. But what I can tell is that it's going to be one of the top 5 exchanges as measured by trading volume. So if you have a look at coinmarketcap.com/exchanges, the exchanges there will be listed by trading volume on the last 24 hours. And it's one of the top 5 names listed there, with whom we have now also reached an agreement. However, we are only allowed to disclose the name later on. So therefore, short answer is exchanges do have different policies. HitBTC is rather fast and they have very open policy. Others are a bit more restrictive and moving slower. So we are doing our best here to add more exchanges. The utility of the Savedroid token is that it's an in-app means of payment. So users will use our token to pay for the crypto services which they are using in our application. So meaning we will enable our users to just very simply connect their credit card to our mobile app, and then the funds will be deducted from the credit card in fiat, and we will auto convert the fiat savings into cryptocurrencies. And this service will come at a cost. There's going to be a monthly subscription fee to it, and there's going to be a transactional cost, which is going to be a percentage of the actual euro amount of the savings. And both of these fees are going to be paid mandatorily in Savedroid token. So the Savedroid token is the in-app payment method within Savedroid. So that means that every user who will use Savedroid in the future will actually need to buy Savedroid token in order to use our service. So this is then basically the demand side of the token, and the utility is to pay for the services. Also, and this is one special utility which all now the ICO participants have, is basically we will, and we already have started working on the alpha phase, and then the beta is going to be launched mid of this year, we will have an exclusive beta tester group where we do one-on-one sessions with our users, remote sessions where everybody can give very open feedback to our product. This is always how we go about product development, having a very open approach. So also one of the utilities is having a bigger influence in the product development than users not joining the ICO. I think this is also very important in better understanding the community and giving the community a chance to also proactively influence our product development process. But the main purpose for all the ones joining our platform later is really going to be the utility of paying for our services. For the community of the Telegram, we have experienced a really fast growth. Let me elaborate a bit on this one. So before we started our pre-sale, in the week, it was a Monday, we had even less than 100 participants. Then on Friday, our pre-sale started, and then the number grew to 4,000, 5,000. The pre-sale was then sold out in only a few hours. It was 7 hours it took us to fill and sell out the complete pre-sale. And then after that, the number of participants in the Telegram already went up to 9,000, 10,000 people just in a few hours in the pre-sale period, so to speak. And then over the next weeks, this growth continued. There are basically two reasons for this growth. First of all, yes, we also have a very high number of backers in the main sale already as well. So the number of backers is now being close to 30,000 already. On the other hand side, we of course also have a bounty program on our Telegram, which basically people can have additional free coins if they join our Telegram. So this for sure is also a reason why even more people join our Telegram that buyers at the end of our tokens are. But one thing which is important to understand towards the hard cap and also towards the participant in our token sale is that our value proposition is cryptocurrencies for everyone. And that means that our minimum ticket you can participate in our sale is starting from 10 euro. For us, this is very important because we believe we can only be credible to deliver this value proposition, cryptocurrencies for everyone, if we are able to have really low thresholds in order to participate in our ICO. And therefore, we consciously decided to have a minimum ticket of only 10 euro. And this, of course, brings in a lot of participants from Southeast Asia, from India, which typically cannot invest such huge tickets, right? So we have a lot of investors being in who contribute like 10 euro, 20 euro, 30 euro. And then this, of course, if you add it up, you have a high number of participants overall, but you have some with very low tickets. Yeah? And this is basically the reasoning behind. I just want to be very transparent on this, but it's actually nothing to be concerned about. We are actually very happy about this constellation because we want to have as many participants as possible, and therefore we consciously decided to have a low threshold on our ICO. For everyone who did not yet fully get this, so our utility token has a built-in deflation mechanism. So what does that mean? That essentially means if we collect back from our users a token in terms of revenue, so one user is using the Savedroid token in order to pay for a crypto service he has consumed, what we will then do is we'll basically burn a certain percentage of these tokens. So let me just make a practical numerical example. Say one guy sending us in as a payment 100 Savedroid token, and say we would burn 20%. So that would be 20 out of the 100 token. So at the end, there is only 80 token left from this transaction. And only these 80 token will then be recirculated in the market. And eventually, the effect of this burning is that the number of tokens over time will decrease. And this decreasing number of token will mean that the supply, so if you look to then the price movement of the crypto exchange, that the supply of Savedroid tokens over time will decrease also on the crypto exchanges. And this is basically a means to stabilize and to help the future price of the Savedroid token to increase, because so this idea is actually going back to an idea of Vitalik Buterin. He came up with the idea of this deflation mechanism. So it's nothing we have invented. We are rather borrowing this idea from the co-founder of Ethereum, because he was commenting on a discussion, how can you actually ensure a good value of a utility token? Because the community was actually very actively discussing, is a utility token really offering a good value for token buyers and investors? And his answer to this was, this is sometimes questionable, but if you build in a deflation mechanism, you can actually ensure that a utility token will become a very valuable investment for the token holders. And that's why we decided, in order to pick up this idea and build in this deflation mechanism, we are burning part of the tokens we collect as a revenue, and thereby the supply is being reduced. And this should help the token price to increase in the future. That's the logic. Ramping up the user base of our application is key to be successful for scaling of the business. And that's why also we decided to do this ICO, because the ICO now basically is for us the first step, actually pre-product, to internationalize. We have now built a huge community. As you guys already saw yourself in our Telegram group, we are now even close to 50. We have a very high amount of email addresses, of course, also collected throughout our ICO. And this user base is already very international. And we're going to use this user base as the beta testers of our application, as the first users of our application. And I think this is the very first step, even pre-product, for us to ensure that we have seeded the roots of our international community. And that will help us in marketing outside of Germany, because of course what we will do, we will also, and this is what you, if you go to our website and if you look to the token distribution, we do have one bucket of tokens which we will use in the future for business development, so essentially for marketing. So what we can do is that basically we can and we will use our tokens in the terms of a bounty program, then also once our product is live, to have a user referral campaign, meaning that our initial community of beta testers will be able to refer further users. And as an incentive to refer users, we can hand out a small proportion of Savedroid tokens, and that will ensure that it's basically a win-win. So for the people being part of the Savedroid community, there it's valuable to spread the word, to invite your friends. In return, you will receive a Savedroid token, so it's actually a good value proposition for the guys. For us, it's a good value proposition, because obviously we can be much more efficient about marketing, and for the Savedroid token holders, it's also value adding, because the user growth is there, and higher user growth will mean that there's a higher demand for the Savedroid token at the stock exchange, at the crypto exchanges, and therefore the price of the Savedroid token should be influenced in a positive way. And this is basically what we really see as core to being successful on the marketing side, really engaging closely with the international community, fostering the community by having strong bounty programs, by bringing more people by word of mouth to our application, because it's always easy to spend the money on Facebook marketing or on Google marketing, but this is then of course a very costly way. It's more efficient to use your community to spread the word. And I think there are some very successful examples out there, like 10x, like other crypto players who have done that very well. And this is basically also our core strategy, to leverage the strengths of our network. So this is how we want to go about user growth outside of Germany. Over the next months. Currently, we are already starting basically to develop our prototype for the crypto savings. We've already started with that, meaning UX concepts, meaning talking to B2B partners, which we require. So in order to get our beta running, where this is the first milestone we are heading towards, which is planned for mid of 2018. What we need to do now over the next month is basically we need to build the prototype, meaning we need to get the first version of the application running. building the user interface in the first place. And this is based on a lot of UX testing. And here we will also very proactively over the next months involve our community. So it's really about doing one-on-ones with community members who are interested in being beta testers or even alpha testers, so to speak. And by this, we're going to improve the user interface and bring it to a level that we can have a very good beta mid of this year. And on the business side, what we need to do is we need to sign up B2B partnerships with a few crypto exchanges so that we are able to basically have the backend application, the backend API to connect to the crypto exchanges, where then the fiat can be converted into crypto and can be traded back into fiat again. So here we are already in talks with a few exchanges, and this basically needs to come to closing of deals, and then we can integrate the APIs to these crypto exchanges. This is basically one to do which is out there, which needs to be done. And then, of course, the back end where the business logic is in needs to be coded. And here again, the milestone is basically by mid of this year being able to have the back end carry all the business logic and doing all the calculations which are necessary in order to basically convert the crypto into the fiat, determine the right exchange rates, determine the right aggregation and netting mechanisms. So this is what we are currently working on. This is really what will be our work for the next 3 months, for the next 4 months after the closing of our ICO. That's the very immediate short-term plan and goals. And after that, so once the beta is out there, the beta will, of course, in the first place start in Europe. Then we will expand that outside Europe and really go and bring our app to be available worldwide. Firstly, it will be in English language only. So there's going to be an English language version of Savedroid, and you can use it with your local credit card. And then really the step thereafter, there's going to be localized versions of the application. So for all the languages have a good reach, we will definitely build local languages, and then we will also offer localized service behind that. So of course there's also going to be a French version. Of course there's going to be a Spanish version, for example, and many more languages for the bigger markets. That's then basically what's coming thereafter. And on the product side, on the crypto savings side, we will start with a few mainstream coins first. So meaning the first savings coins which are going to be there is obviously going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum. But then we want to very, very fast add additional coins. And then we also, by the end of this year, want to add the first portfolio of coins. So what I've already explained is we will launch an algorithm, an AI logic, which will construct a portfolio of different coins and tokens. And the logic we will build the AI algorithm is that we want to basically optimize for risk and return. So basically, it's going to be a risk measure which we're going to implement to the algorithm in order to take out volatility from the portfolio. Because what we are currently seeing in the first user tests we are doing is that there is a high preference for average mass market users to have less volatility and less risk. And that's what we want to optimize our offering for. And that's going to be basically the first improvement from coming from a single coin to multi-coin to a risk optimized portfolio. This is basically the step on the pure crypto investment side, what we are planning in the near future. We are already in talks with the first crypto exchanges. I can not, please understand this, I cannot at this point in time reveal concrete names because we have not yet signed contracts. So therefore, this is still confidential. Once we sign contracts, we will of course also disclose these names publicly. So no questions asked. We are always very transparent, and we will disclose once we have agreed on partnerships. At the moment, we can unfortunately not yet do that. But you can be assured that we are talking to the bigger players in the market. This is important for us because we need to offer a high level of liquidity then also for our users. So therefore, it only makes sense if we can connect to exchanges and to crypto players who can offer us a high level of liquidity in the market. So I think this is a very clear prerequisite which we are currently setting. And the other partnership we are currently looking to and forward is, of course, also in terms of a debit card. So we are having a prepaid a credit card, which is essentially a debit card in our Savedroid application already today. Today, our collaboration partner here is Wirecard. We are already having an existing business partnership with Wirecard. Wirecard is also now looking for partnerships in the crypto space. So that may be an option. We are discussing this, but it's not yet clear. There are also other players we could partner with on the crypto credit card side. Again, here discussions are already ongoing. It's not yet a contract signed, but yes, there are clear partnership opportunities out there. We are already in negotiations with, and this is also what we require in order to build our service. So clear answer, yes to this question. I think the Savedroid ICO is different from what you currently can get out there. Not only because of the value proposition, which I've outlined, it's really crypto inclusion for everyone, but also because of what Savedroid has already achieved. We are a German stock corporation. We have raised more than 3.5 million euros in equity from renowned investors. So I think we combine two things. The first one being really a solid business track record on what we have already delivered. So we are not a out of school PowerPoint business model, but there's a real value behind our company with real users, a live product, real investors, and very reputed B2B partners. It's not only Amazon, it's also Deutsche Börse, it's Wirecard, and many, many more, which we have not discussed now. And the other thing is because our value proposition is really huge. If you look to crypto inclusion, we are still way there's way to go to reach that. Currently, the crypto market is a small niche market, and we do need maximum simplification in order to really bring crypto to the masses, to convince the average user out there on the street that cryptocurrencies are a good thing for him and her to use. And I think our ICO is basically going exactly in this direction. And we want to solve the issue, how does the user front end, how does the application of the future need to look like that everybody, also not being a tech nerd, will be able to handle cryptocurrency in a very easy and convenient way. And we believe we are the right ones to deliver this value proposition because we have already done that for fiat savings. Now do want to translate our DNA of simplification now to this crypto world. And we believe that this is one thing which is truly needed in order to make crypto big for the future. So if you also buy in to this value proposition, if you like the idea, I think you should be on board, and we would be highly delighted to get you guys in, not only as our investors and token holders, but as I said, also as our first mission, which will start from mid-2018.